Welcome to October. Hey, everybody. I'm Lance Roberts, and welcome to Broadway's Calling. Every week, we pull back the curtain and we find out how your favorite Broadway stars finally got the call to be on Broadway. Now, the story, it only happens once, but it happens to every star, and we're going to find out how it happened. Well, I'd like to thank all of you who watched our 10th show last week, our 10th show anniversary. It was a huge live event. It was great. And I'd like to thank everyone on our Broadway's Calling team, our social media manager. You've never seen Andrew Good. He's behind the scenes, but he's been helping us a lot. And our tech director, Julie Garnier, who pops in whenever we need help with the live broadcast or sometimes just to say hello.
Hello.
Is that Julie?
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's
Happy
good to
October.
be here. Yes. You know, Jafar is always in there, and he likes
Of
to
course
come out
he is.
every once in a while.
Of course he is.
Was it last week phenomenal with all the people who just showed up? You know, it was so great.
Amazing. And, just wanted to say a thank you to everyone involved in our 10th show. And, we had the largest live viewing audience to date last week.
I saw that.
It was huge. So I think people are sharing and they're starting to let people know that this show actually is happening. So please continue to do that, everybody. Continue to share.
Great. And if you're telling your friends to share and they love Broadway, like we all do, have them subscribe. Subscribe, babies. And if you don't want to miss an episode, make sure you click that bell. Click that bell. Ow, click that bell. Click that bell. Ow! I could pay myself a royalty. I just made up a new jingle.
Be careful. I might pull the audio from that and use that next week.
Okay. All right. Me.
It was truly a royal episode last week. We had Jose Lana and Christy Altamar here. It was amazing.
Oh my! And the Alto Heads.
No, they're so loyal. They're great fans.
They were out in force. I mean, I wonder if we got. I think Laura's fans that call Buffantes, maybe. I have to ask Laura when she gets here. I think the Buffantes. I think I heard that when we were doing My Fair Lady. I think that. But anyway, to the Alto Heads who are here and who have hopefully come back, thank you, and thank you. We love you. It was very, very exciting having you here.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm just going to let this show get started because we've got a time crunch a little bit today. So we're going to get you going. So have a great show, Lance. Enjoy.
Thank you. All right. Well, I'll see you after the show. The Broadway community gained another angel this morning, Miss Armelia McQueen. She seduced us in the original cast of Ain't Misbehavin' with only a spotlight and a piano singing, "Oh, Daddy, squeeze me, oh, squeeze me." And there we are. We did the 30th anniversary of Ain't Misbehavin' at the Amundsen at the Music Center. And my understudy, Doug Eskew, and Eugene Barry Hill, who we didn't have a picture, but it was so fantastic. And it's really, really important that I make sure that you all know that Armelia McQueen was a part of a 5-member cast in a show that inspired so many teenagers. This was like 1978, 79 in Ain't Misbehavin'. It was 5 people, but yet they took the place of helicopters and chandeliers and all the spectacular props that we have now. It was just 5 people on stage, and I will never ever forget how she and that cast inspired me. And I thank you, Armelia McQueen. She is the kind of performer that our guest today is very, very similar. Maybe they can sing high, they can belt, they can sing swing music. It doesn't really matter. They'll do golden age songs. It doesn't really, it's just like people like Laura Benanti, who is here today. I love this picture of her too. She has sung pop in The Wedding Singer, Golden Age, in My Fair Lady, and oh, there's Danny Burstein and Me and Joe. And even sung Italian art songs in Nine and operatic songs. She Loves Me, comic belt songs in Woman on the Verge. That's the model behavior. And that's just half of her Broadway shows, y'all. I mean, there's like all kinds of shows. You'll figure out what those shows are because as we go through the show today, we will highlight some of those with some videos and some pictures and hopefully some backstage stories, and Laura will fill us all in. But also, she's had time to be a regular on several television shows. One with Matthew Perry called Go On, and my favorite show, it only lasted a couple of episodes, was the Playboy Club, and Nashville with Connie Britton, and she even sings some songs on the Nashville soundtrack, which you can, buy on many platforms online. But in the spirit of Halloween month, I have to share with you that Laura Benanti was named by Entertainment Weekly one of the top TV villains when she played Astra, Supergirl's evil aunt. I love it. Now, did you guys catch that like cool gray streak in Laura's hair as Astra? So because Halloween is coming up, it's a good idea for some of you if you're starting to think about a Halloween costume, because we're thinking about Halloween. I even have where is it? Which side is it? It's right here. I have my beginning of the Halloween sequin backdrop. It'll get like more and more Halloween as we get closer to Cadaver, our very, very special show that we're going to do on Halloween night, Saturday, October 31st at 7 p.m. It's the Broadway's Villain Ball. So all of your Broadway villains are going to sort of vie to find out who is the wickedest villain of them all. People from Little Shop of Horror, Sweetie Todd, The Wiz, Phantom, Wicked, Young Frankenstein, Little Mermaid, all of them. They're all going to be here. And some of your favorite Broadway performers will perform for those songs. And just to make it even more fun, we'll have a costume contest. So when you're watching, you can take pictures of yourself, send it into our email, and then we will put them on the screen, and then people will vote on that as well. It's going to be great. And someone will win the Golden Pumpkin. Oh, it's a fantastic award that I'm sure you will covet or toss in a pile somewhere, but it's really, really cool to have, and it'll just be one of a kind, and you can win it. So now our patrons, which we have a few of those, all of our patrons will get the show for free. So you want to become a patron as soon as you can. And if you want more information, this Wednesday, it will be on our Instagram, which is at Instagram/Broadway's Calling TV. And we hope that you'll join us. Now, we are here for Laura Benanti, right? And I told you we're here because she is one of the greatest entertainers. And she will show you that in Gypsy.
He's embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. I like men without hair. Don't worry, fellas, I know you're up there. Up there, you know what enthusiast means. An enthusiast is one who, or that which, sheds its skin. In vulgar parlance, a stripper. But I'm not a stripper. At these prices, I'm an enthusiast. I'll make you feel good. I want your spirit to entertain you, and we'll have a real good time. Yes, sir. We'll have a real good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Broadway's calling Laura Benanti.
Hi, Lance.
Hey there, Laura. Welcome to Broadway's Calling.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad you had time to come here. I mean, you are rocking the quarantine, okay? You are there's like so many like fun things that you've done, and I don't know how you can fit it in. You know, you have your family, being a wife, you're a mom, you know, and yet, I mean, there's been what has been going on? I mean, there's albums, movies, all kinds of stuff. What's been going on lately?
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy as it's been for everyone. But really, like, I was meant to go shoot a pilot in Chicago on Friday, March 13th. And on the way to the airport, they called me and said, don't come to the airport. It's probably going to be another couple weeks. Right. So I was with Patrick, my husband, and Ella, my daughter, and we just had the cab bring us to my parents' house in New Jersey, thinking we'd be here for a couple weeks. We're still here.
Wow, you've been at your parents.
Yeah.
Since March. Wow.
With like 2 weeks worth of clothes, which is what's really hilarious.
Right.
And my mom, who's a voice teacher, he was looking at her phone and was really upset. And, you know, this was, again, Friday, March 13th. And I asked her what was going on. And she said she was just so worried about excuse me, because all of their shows were canceled.
Right.
And so I went out on their porch and I made a video and I put it on Instagram, basically saying, I know it's not the same as performing live for your communities, but if you want to perform for me, put it on Instagram and Twitter with the hashtag Sunshine Song, because I want to do it. Yeah. And I thought I was going to get like 20 videos. And it got like almost 15,000 at this point.
Wow.
And the original post has been viewed millions and millions of times. And so that sort of started my like obsession with being of service during that time. Patrick calls me a pathological helper.
Yeah. I get it, because you've always been like that. I mean, even when we were doing My Fair Lady, I mean, you were taking care of everyone while starring in a musical. And yeah, it was like,
I mean, it's how I think weirdly I deal with stress. You know, it's like if I can be helpful to other people, I feel less scared.
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm in the process of doing something. I know you're the same way.
Yeah, very similar. I love it. It just like, it takes us away and it's like, good, we have a purpose. We can move forward. Yeah.
Yeah. It's having a purpose because if I don't, then I'm just going to like spiral down into a hole.
Yes.
So,
yes.
You know, that happened. And then it parlayed into these Sunshine concerts that I co-produced with my friend Kate, who is an activist down south in Raleigh. And we did these free concerts for hospitalized children and senior citizens who are isolated because of the pandemic. You know, I really wanted to bring the joy of Sunshine Songs to people who don't have social media.
Oh, so yes.
We partnered with senior living community. We partnered with 2 groups, one called K4 Connect, and the other called Seniorly. And we ended up in thousands and thousands of senior living communities, bringing cheer to those people who are isolated, and in hundreds of children's hospitals. And I got to interview children in the hospital who were also our performers and people being of service in their communities. And it was just so meaningful to me to get to do that. So that happened. And then World of Wonder, which is the production company that does RuPaul's Drag Race.
Okay.
They reached out to me and they said, you should do something with this idea. You know, the Sunshine Songs idea. And I was like, well, I don't want to monetize it. It just feels, it came from such a pure place. But then we met with HBO Max to discuss what we could possibly do. And now we're creating a documentary. It's a musical documentary highlighting 7 high school graduates from the class of 2020 from all over the country, very diverse kids, and we learn their stories and we get to see them perform.
Wow. Those are lucky kids. And now this is going to be on HBO Max. When does that actually air?
In November. We're not sure yet of our exact drop date, but it'll be in November for sure, after the election.
Okay.
Probably around Thanksgiving. So that's been taking up quite a bit of my time. And, you know, the only way I'm able to do it is because I'm here with my parents,
Right.
my husband, who have taken on a tremendous amount of responsibility with my daughter. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still parenting full time. So many Zooms with just my child climbing on me and telling me she wants a snack and screaming at me. And but yeah, I feel so grateful that I have such a supportive and loving husband and parents who, you know, take on a lot of they just help quite a bit. So I'm really grateful for that.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to that HBO Max show. But I'm also looking forward to an album that just dropped, and you have 2 singles coming off of that. Look at that picture. It's so fantastic. I do have to ask you about the album cover.
Yeah.
It's like a double image, because that picture that we just showed, you can just see the Laura Benanti. But when you see the whole album cover, which people have to go find it, you will see like this little ghost image of another Laura Benanti. Like, what's the concept behind that?
Well, it was shot through a window.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the photographer shot it through a window. So it's just, to me, it was really like architectural, and that you can't sort of tell, like, what's the chair, what's me. I just like the ambiguity of it all.
Yeah.
I like the expression on my face. You know, it's you can read into it sort of whatever you want.
Okay, it's art.
Yeah, an album. Yeah, it felt to me like art for sure. And I didn't want it to feel so literal, because the album is that. You know, the album is taking modern pop songs, and old school jazz songs, and, you know, I think 1 or 2 theater songs, and they've been arranged in this beautiful way by this tremendous artist, Phil Goldstein. And I have really beautiful musicians playing on it, and, you know, it's like something you can put on when you have friends over, when we're allowed to do that again.
Right.
Or, you know, you can put on when you're taking a bath, or it's very soothing. I'm really proud of it. It's my first studio album. I have a live album, but it's my first studio album. So October 23rd, the album will come out. But right now, you can go pre-order it, and you can listen to the first 2 singles. One of which is a cover of the Jonas Brothers song "Sucker," and all of the proceeds of that single go to benefit Food Corps.
Food Corps, okay.
Yeah, they're a really remarkable organization. They work all the time in order to bring like healthy food into communities experiencing, you know, a lack of sources. And they especially bring them into schools. And they have been making sure during the pandemic, when kids who rely on their public school system for the majority of their nutrition, they were making sure that none of those kids go hungry.
Oh, that's fantastic. So people, if you're going to get it, you want to like get one of those singles and help, because all the proceeds are going to this great organization. And that's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, Laura. I just like again, it's like you were doing things during the pandemic. I love it. I wanted to ask you something that I'd always thought about, because with Gypsy, which we showed a little of that, all of the Mama Roses throughout history, like they always win the Tony Awards.
Yeah.
But I feel like the actual Gypsy, your character, none of them, I don't think any of them ever won a Tony Award until a certain Miss Laura Benanti. Is that true?
That is true.
Oh my God. Well, there you are at a recent Tony Award.
Yes, that's when we were doing My Fair Lady together.
Yeah. I mean, 5 nominations. But here you are, and it's like looking at a baby picture. And I think it's so beautiful to show everyone's first Tony Award speech. And here you are at the Tonys the first time.
And the American Theater Wing's Tony Award goes to Laura Benanti, Gypsy.
Tony Award tonight.
Oh my gosh! Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Arthur. You're standing. Hi. I have never moved so quickly in my entire life. I almost knocked the camera guy over. Thank you so much. Thank you especially to Arthur Lawrence, not only for standing, but for being the most amazing director in the entire world. I love you so much. Yay, Arthur! Thank you to Patti LuPone and Boyd Gaines for being my family on stage and off. I am so honored to be in your company. Stephen Sondheim, I just worship you. There's no other words. Jay Binder and our incredible producers, thank you for taking a chance on me 10 years ago and never giving up. Innovative artists, my incredible manager and friend, Emily Gerson-Sains, and most importantly, my family, the Benantis, who are here tonight. I love you guys so much. You're my everything to my mother, the anti-Mama Rose, and the most amazing woman that I know. Thank you so much.
Just what does that feel like seeing, your Tony Award speech?
I think I've only ever watched it maybe one time. It made me sad to see Arthur. It made me feel sad. But so grateful to have had that experience. It was such a beautiful...
he was a legend who helped write great scripts, direct, and you're this is someone all the way back. I know he even had something to do with La Cage aux Folles also, but further back, West Side Story.
Yeah, he wrote West Side Story. He wrote Gypsy. He's written plays. He's a really remarkable human being. I also want to thank you for that thoughtful edit. That was really thank you for that, for having my back there. That was very generous of you. I was like, oh, wow, thank you. Yeah, thanks for that. I think that's one of the reasons why, honestly, that I don't watch it anymore. Because it is hard for me to see my old life. It is hard.
Yeah, it's another life. Yeah.
It's another life. Yeah, there is. So there's beauty in watching it, because it reminds me of such a remarkable time in my life, but it also feels like watching a different person.
Right.
It feels like
and you are. This is what you do. You transform. You get to transform on stage, but also in your life. And it's funny. There's a play that you did that Sarah Rule wrote.
Yes, In the Next Room, or the Vibrator play.
Yes, and it's we have a video of that, but I always wondered, maybe we'll show the video and then I'll ask you the question about that. Let's see the Sarah Rule play, the Vibrator play. It's fascinating.
Wait, Elizabeth, before you leave, perhaps you can settle a question? Mrs. Daldry and I have had 2 experiences of the very same event. Have you ever had this sensation either? You feel shivers all over your body, and you feel like running, and your feet get very hot as though you're dancing on devil's coal?
Or you see unaccountable patterns of lights, of electricity under your eyelids, and your heart races, and your legs feel very weak as though you cannot walk.
And your face gets suddenly hot, like a strange sudden sunburn.
Or there are red splotches up one side of your entire body, a strange rash here.
And a feeling of burning as though you'll get no relief, and your mouth is dry, and you lick your lips, and you find your face is making an ugly expression, so you cover your face with your hands.
And sometimes a great outpouring of liquid and the sheets are wet. Oh, but it's not an unpleasant sensation, but a little frightening. Is that a riddle?
Has that ever happened to you?
I do not know. The sensations are so contradictory. Does anything unite them?
Well, many of them are down below.
Oh, I see. Well, the things you described, some of them seem to be sensations that an invalid would have, or someone with a horrible fever, but others sound like sensations that women might have when they're having relations with their husbands. I'm sorry. Perhaps you were joking. Perhaps I shouldn't have said...
With their husbands?
How interesting.
Those sensations you were describing, they're not from having relations with your husband.
Good heavens, no!
Well, if you guys are enjoying these fascinating videos and our great guest star Laura Benanti, I hope you consider becoming a patron of ours at patreon.com. It's our only way that we can continue to pay for the platform and sending out this content with you. It's basically, we're doing a TV show, but we don't have a budget. We're not aligned with any Playbill or Broadway.com or Broadway World. It's just you guys. So the more you support us, the more we can do this. And I want to do it forever because there are so many great stars. And I love how, people like Laura come on, they actually inform us about what they're doing to help even other people, so that this can be a way to reach other people, to help other people during this time and beyond, because people always need help. There's always someone in need. So really, I hope you think about, like, Patreon. We want $100 from you, but really you can join for $5, which is like $1 a show. So I really implore you to do that so that we can continue. We're here with Laura Benanti, and we just saw her in her starring role on Broadway in Sarah Ruhl's play, In the Next Room, the Vibrator play. And we were talking about sort of moving on from our old lives into our new lives. And when this play reminded me of, like, did that character inform you as a woman in your sexuality? When you were playing that character?
I wouldn't say in my sexuality, but in terms of just repression in general. The idea that somehow women's feelings are hysterical and something that must be cured.
Right.
Was the basis of the play. It was based on a true doctor who was curing women's hysteria with a vibrator.
Right. Wow.
The idea that women couldn't have an orgasm without the male penis is, scientifically they were like, well, no, that couldn't possibly be what this is. This is just a release of hysteria.
Right.
So, for me, entering into a new space in terms of doing a straight play on Broadway, I had done off Broadway, but that felt just on a personal level growth for me as an actor. But then really for me, it was about self-awareness and repression.
Wow. Yeah.
And the idea that women's feelings are just so often disregarded or were pathologized or made to feel like something is deeply wrong with us for having intuition or for having sensitivity or for being empathetic. And I do feel in general, as a society, we're tending toward a more sort of masculine way. Women look at problems, I think, and solve them differently. And I feel like more and more women are sort of being asked to solve problems in the way that men do. And I really think we'd be in a much healthier space if it were the other way around.
Or at least start to blend some of take some of the female ideas and blend them so that there's a sense of balance. That's what we need in the world, all over the world. A sense of balance, not so extreme on either way, whether it's political, whether it's gender, whether it's sexuality or whatever. It's just like, the extremes, most of us are in the middle. So it's like the blend could be very, very important. Well, it just seems like you have always had a sense of maturity about you and a depth of understanding. And even when you were very young when you made your Broadway debut. And I would love to know, like, where were you, like 19 years old?
I was 18.
Oh my goodness. Where were you when you got the call to finally be on Broadway?
Well, I was not a child actor. My parents would not allow me to audition for any professional shows.
Even though they were both performers.
I think that's why. But basically they were like, you have to get good grades and then you can do community theater and you can do your school shows. And I did. And then my junior year of high school, I won the very first Paper Mill Playhouse Rising Star Award.
Really?
Yeah, I played Dolly Levi, or Dolly, up the octave because I'm soprano.
Yeah.
And then the Paper Mill put me in 2 shows. They put me in a play of Jane Eyre, not the musical, but the straight play. And then I also did Man of La Mancha. And then because of my affiliation with Paper Mill, when Jay Binder was casting The Sound of Music, they recommended me for Liesl.
Hmm.
And when I auditioned, I was 17, and I auditioned, and oh my gosh, there it is. And Jay Binder was like, "You seem like a grown woman. Like you don't seem like a child." I've always looked like this. I basically have looked like this since I was.
Well, you basically look the same as you did then. I have a picture later to prove it.
Well,
go
you know
ahead.
what's really funny is that people always thought I was so much older then. So when I was 18, people thought I was 35. And now I'm 41 and people still think I'm 35. So I'm like, it's great. I'll just be 35 for 40 years.
Right. Absolutely. You and Jack Benny.
Yeah.
The kids don't know who Jack Benny is. That's all right. I'll show a picture later. Yeah.
But I was the understudy for the glorious Rebecca Luker.
Oh.
You know, who is now battling ALS. And she actually head to my social media platform tomorrow because I'm going to be posting an ask from Rebecca that we can all do in order to help, get more funding for Rebecca and for people like her who are struggling with this disease. So, but she, I was her understudy, and she really showed me how to be a leading lady.
Wow.
And when Rebecca left the show a year later, I took over for her. So I was 17 when I auditioned, 18 when I was her understudy, 19 when I took over the role, and I played opposite Richard Chamberlain.
Oh my God. Well, we have a little video of you and Richard and the dance.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, just watch the subtlety between these two glorious actors.
Oh my gosh.
Right here.
I'm so excited.
Then they go for a little stroll. Now turn. Step together. Arm. And now for the little window.
No, Corp, that's wrong. Here, let me show you. Draw a line.
I don't remember anymore.
Well, Corp, that's why it's done.
So wonderful.
Oh my goodness, the two of you, I mean, just magical, like during that dance. And it's so funny, I don't remember that dance in Sound of Music. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, that's when the magic started to happen.
Yeah, it's so funny too, because in looking, he was so much older than me, but it didn't look creepy.
No,
it really didn't.
No. And the love seemed real, I love that. I love that. Well, I mean, not only were you phenomenal in that, but I mean, as one of the great beauties of Broadway and beyond, for sure, are also a phenomenal comedian, and people know, of course, we send out our thoughts and prayers to the president and the first lady, but you do have some funny bits on the Stephen Colbert Show.
Yes.
You as Melania, but also on Broadway, you have like slayed that woman on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Oh my goodness. We have to show a little of model behavior. I know it's almost Ella's bedtime, and we're gonna have to go soon, but we have to show a little of that to the audience. Let's see a little of model behavior, and Laura just cracking us up.
And he's been here in my apartment for about a week. I met him down at Cafe Sombra, and I know you think I'm overly romantic, but you wouldn't believe the connection we had. Like immediately, I was ready for him to meet my mom. Like I could feel my heart exploding like some kind of bomb, which is ironic because actually I think he literally has some kind of. Anyway, Grandpa, happy birthday. Say hello to Grandma and be sure and think, yo, that was him. And they've been jumping to conclusions, God, I hope I am. He thinks I'm thin and he's got shoulders like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Listen to me when you hear this, I'll be here for half an hour. Call me back.
In the song, for people who didn't get to see it, it was a short run on Broadway, but there is an album out, but the song is like 6 minutes long.
It's a really I feel so blessed and grateful to have had the opportunity to sing that song.
Yeah.
It would be hard to mess that song up. Like, I got a lot of credit for that show, and I'm so grateful, but really the credit should go to that song because it is so brilliant.
David Yazbek, right?
Long, David Yazbek, yeah. But I mean, I ended up getting so skinny just because running around in that song, and then I would have to run up like a flight of 6 flights of stairs in my heels backstage to be let down from the ceiling in a harness. I mean, it was one of the most physical shows I've ever done.
Great. It's so good. But I mean, if people are looking for it, it's sort of like getting like Broadway's Best on one album, because you'll get Laura, you'll also get Patti LuPone and Justin Guarini and Danny Burstein and Brian Stokes Mitchell, Sherry Renee Scott. I mean, all of this, Nika Lanzarone, Jen Sanchez. I mean, it's a cast of like the greatest Broadway performers all on one album. Mary Beth Peil. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I've just like so many great people. Yeah. So I hope people, check that out. But I have a question for you, Laura, because Bartlett Shear directed you in that. Yes. And then famously, I guess people know that you had asked about being in My Fair Lady, and you made a video and you said it was a hard pass. But then something happened where all of a sudden you became our new Eliza Doolittle. And
what really happened was they had called me originally when it was happening to audition. They were having all of the women audition, and I had just had Ella.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'll audition. And then they sent over like 45 pages of material. And I called Bart and I was like, buy a ticket. Like, no. I'm not going to do 45 pages of material. I have a newborn baby.
Yeah.
And I was
like, Shaw. It's all Shaw.
And then I thought to myself, Laura, if you can't get it together to audition for this, you cannot do it 8 times a week. Right. So I called him and I said, this is my dream, and you know how much I love you and I want to work with you, but I actually don't think this is the right time for me. I don't think I'm going to be able to be the kind of mom I want to be, and the kind of Eliza I want to be. And he totally understood, and they held auditions without me, and Lauren Ambrose got the role. She was so beautiful in it. She gives such a tender, touching, like deeply sad performance. It was so beautiful. And I got to do Meteor Shower with Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
And it was a 75-minute play.
Yeah.
And with only 4 people. Literally, the whole play was as long as the first act of My Fair Lady. So I would, leave my house. It was just a much better thing for me as a new mom.
Better fit.
To do a 75-minute play where I don't have to worry about my voice. I just get to be silly and funny. Yeah. And then miraculously, I couldn't believe it. When Lauren left, Bart called and said, how are you feeling now? Do you think you can do it now? And at that point, Ella was 2.
Right.
And you know, it's not like I was like, well, she was grown up, she could raise
Yeah,
herself.
right.
She was in a place where she could understand more, and
Mhm.
so I brought her to the theater all the time. And
Yeah, we loved it.
she was like our little mascot.
Yeah.
I showed her actually the video of all of you singing her happy birthday for her 2nd birthday.
Oh, good.
Oh, my friends. It was so sweet. Remember her love affair with Rosemary?
Yes, she and Rosemary, just like it was amazing. You know, a 3-year-old and a 93-year-old, just like together.
And she was
you know,
2. And
she
they
was
would
2 then, yeah.
eat dinner together. And
Mhm.
I remember Ella would say, "It's time to take your nap."
well, so you finally got to do Eliza, and I know you also played Amalia and She Loves Me.
Yes.
2 great roles,
Yeah.
you know, soprano roles on Broadway,
Yeah.
classic Golden Age musicals that we're doing
lucky.
here now.
I'm so lucky.
Is there a role like maybe a main dentist that you're dying to play? What's like, what's
You know what's funny? I've gotten to, I got to play Maria in The Sound of Music.
Mhm.
I got to play Cinderella in Into the Woods. I got to play Claudia in 9, Louise in Gypsy, Amalia in She Loves Me, Eliza Doolittle and My Fair Lady. You know, like
Yeah.
so many of my dream roles I've done. I even got to do Anne in A Little Night Music at the LA Opera.
Oh, right, yeah.
For me, it would my dream, honestly, is to do A Little Night Music with me, my mom, and my daughter.
Oh,
So I would play Desiree.
okay.
My mom would be in the Madame Armfeld.
Yeah,
and
right.
my daughter would be my daughter.
Oh my goodness.
That's my dream. That's
okay. All right. So 15 years out,
Yeah.
I'll produce it. I'll
Or
start
10.
raising money
10
now,
years.
10
years we'll do it.
When?
10. Let's do 10 years.
Okay, 10 years. Okay.
Yeah, I will be 13.
Oh, all right. Sure.
I'll be 51.
All right.
My mom will
But
be
you'll,
81.
but you'll still look 35.
That's
That's
look like this. Frozen in time.
well, it would be amazing production, I'm sure. We can film it, or it could be on stage, or however.
Or both.
or both. But this has been fantastic that you have stopped here. Now, we're not going to leave because I mentioned Amalia because many people love ice cream. And they love the song Ice Cream, and they love your performance as Amalia, and we will definitely show that. But I just wanted to, make sure that you got a chance to say hello to any fans out there. And I wanted to clear up, are they called Befantes?
Fenantes.
Oh, Fenantes. Fenantes. Oh my God. Oh, Chris Faison is here, and Joe Hart. I see Chris Faison, and they're saying hello.
Oh, I
Miss
missed
you,
you.
Joe. And then, and Chris Faison, actually, a funny story. When you and Chris Faison were on the Christmas parade, Thanksgiving Day parade, someone made a mistake and put a picture of you and Chris Faison, and it said it was you and I. Not that all Black people look alike, I was just happy because he's 20 years younger than me. I was like, thank you very much. But Chris was like, no. Well, they did fix it, and it's so fantastic. He was one of the first people to share his Broadway's Calling story on the Broadway's Calling Facebook page, and it's a beautiful story. And so it was lovely. He also reflected back to that moment with you and he together being featured on the Thanksgiving Day parade. And it was a great moment, for his career, making his Broadway debut and then being featured with you on the parade. So it's nice to see that he's here. And
Joe's here too?
Who? Joe Hart. Yep.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. Yeah, he was Hart's in LA. He was saying hello. A lot of people. Oh, there's John Lewis, who he actually is in the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, which you sang with them, and he had posted on our Broadway's Calling page. And so it's glad to see you, John Lewis. That's very, very exciting. Nice. Oh, there he is. We love you, Laura. Oh, that's great. I mean, it was like, I was like, oh, I wish we could I was looking for a video of that. But, we didn't have a lot of time to get everything on, because I would love to show the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus and you singing That would be so amazing.
Very incredible.
But thank you so much, and thank everybody for watching. And we're gonna say goodbye to Laura. She's gonna say goodbye to you, but we will show a little Laura when she says goodbye. So anything you want to say to the Benantis?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for watching, and I hope that everyone's families are safe and healthy and as well as can be expected during this difficult time. And just know that I'm holding you in my thoughts in the best way that I can. And I love you, Lance. Thank you for this.
Oh, love you too, and thank you. And I hope you guys download the single, and so we can get money, to the charities and every Food Corps. Fantastic, and look out on HBO Max for Laura's new series.
It's called Homeschool Musical, Class of 2020.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I want you to stay safe, stay connected, keep a little Broadway in your life. I'm Lance Roberts and Laura Benanti, and here's a little ice cream from She Loves Me, Bach and Harnick, to take you out on the Sunday night. Good night, all. Good night, Laura.